Thank you very much. Welcome to the DXC Invitational. Round of applause, please. Okay, thanks for bearing with us as we got started. I'll just say really quickly, the future relevance of universities, I think, depends on their ability to have a contribution to society around them, to the community around them. That's why we have UTS startups. So we're all about inspiring new entrepreneurship, tech entrepreneurship in particular, and then supporting tech entrepreneurs. We have 490 UTS startups we're supporting at the moment, some of which are wonderful insurtech related startups, but I'd love to see more. So that's why we're hosting today. I am such a huge fan of DXC. There is no company in Australia doing better engagement with startups and allowing that pipeline to build and the capability of startups to be made available to DXC partners. So I'm really excited for today, and most excited for the person I'll introduce now. I met you 10 years ago, Michael. Michael Neary. Raise your hand if you know Michael. Everyone knows Michael. He's a wonderful engager of people and of startups and of corporate world and connecting solutions to people that need them. Please welcome Michael Neary.
Thanks, Murray, and thank you for your kind words. I want to thank UTS. It's wonderful to be here and engage with the university community. Many of you who have been working with Murray here in startups. This is the 4th year of the Invitational. The first year we've included Asia Pacific, so we've got some inclusion from there, which is absolutely fabulous, and I'm really pleased to see. And it's the first one we've done post-COVID, so we are getting the momentum back, getting the rhythm back, and it's good to see those in the room and also those that have been able to join us online. I'm always very excited about the Invitational, and it is a way of bringing, and really pleased that some of the past winners, we've got one, Daisy, which does a lot of work with contact centres and artificial intelligence over that. We're using it, it's out in the market, it's growing, it was a winner a few years ago, and it's also won a number of awards around the industry, including the Personal Injury Education Foundation Award this year. So great work from Daisy. We also have Spring Day, and Spring Day was a past winner. It won in 2018. It's gone on, it does an app for health and wellness, really useful during COVID because it had all the meditation, how to relieve stress. A good app if you are looking for something like that. And in fact, it's gone on, not only have we had customers use it, but DXC's adopted it, and that's now used by 15,000 people across Asia Pacific with DXC. So there are some, what I'm most pleased is this isn't just an award that is given and sits on a shelf. We actually do want to make startups part of the community, and that's something we're really pleased with. And for those that have entered, thank you for entering. The winner is important, but sometimes it's second and third, get some interest, and get out in the community. We do introduce everyone across, and we become aware of what's out there through this. So if you don't win, that doesn't mean you're not going to get adopted in the industry. Hopefully this is a way to raise your profile. I'd also like to welcome the judges today, and we're very fortunate with the calibre of judges we've got this year. First of all, Fiona Mcgregor. Thank you, Fiona. Fiona's from TAL and is the Chief Information and Innovation Officer. Fiona has over 20 years experience and a career focus in customer-led innovation. As you'll hear from Fiona, she's from Scotland, and so we have the international experience there, and has worked in areas across Europe, US and Asian markets. Fiona was an independent consultant advising some of the UK's largest service brands on innovation culture and their growth strategy. So please welcome Fiona. We also have online Prue Wilsford. Now Prue is known to many of you across the insurance industry as, there is Prue. Hi Prue. Prue is CEO of ANZIF, and ANZIF have been tremendous in supporting startups and innovation across the industry. ANZIF is the region's leading education, training and professional development organisation, and in recent times it's really been forging a really strong tie across insurance professionals and across bringing startups in. So please welcome Prue. And from New Zealand, we have Bronwyn Kerwin. Bronwyn is Chief Sales and Service Officer at Fidelity Life. Hi, Bronwyn. And has enjoyed a stellar career in insurance, including market strategy roles with Zurich International in the UK and Europe. Bronwyn spent 10 years at Swiss Re, and some of you may know Bronwyn's been a judge in past years. Thank you, Bronwyn. And was instrumental in a lot of the adoption of Swiss Re's digital insurance disruption. She is now in a role of Chief Sales and Service Officer for Fidelity Life New Zealand, New Zealand's largest locally owned insurer. So welcome, Bronwyn. And Jason Lardelli. Jason is from the Transport Accident Commission, so this is in Victoria. I often talk about the great work insurers do. The Transport Accident Commission does fabulous work getting people, preventing accidents on Victorian Road, and also getting people back to work and back to life. And that's what for those that don't do a lot with the insurance industry, please, remember what an important role insurers play in a lot of people's lives at their worst time. And certainly Jason and the team at the Transport Accident Commission do a lot of really good work across the community. Yes, they're an insurer, but preventing accidents on Victorian roads, I know they invest a lot there, and also getting people back. Jason joined the TAC in 2017 and was appointed Head of Scheme Performance in 2020. He holds over 20 years of personal injury insurance experience, from scheme design and management through to client outcomes, all the way across Australia and New Zealand. So, welcome, Jason. So, a really good geographic representation and good representation across many of the areas of insurance. And now, before we see the pictures, we have a couple of quick scene-setting questions with the judges, just to help you get a feel for today. And we're going to start with Fiona. Fiona, what do you think are the key drivers for change in the insurance industry?
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, everyone. It's nice to see you in person. I feel like we weren't out of the house much for a few years, so getting back to these things is great. I thought I might touch on three themes in that question. The first, I guess, is the obvious one, that a lot of the risks we're dealing with are evolving in the industry that I'm part of. The ability to change your own odds around your health has really shifted. And particularly things like personalised medicine are really challenging our actuaries and underwriters to look at some of the assumptions we've made for many decades and perhaps open their minds to looking at risk in different ways. The second, I guess, in our industry is there's a lot of talk around sustainability. We need to be around for the long term. We make promises to people for many decades. And we have to think, I guess, about the experience of those who claim, but importantly, the experience of everyone who doesn't claim, who are the vast majority of people that we deal with. And there's so much at our disposal now in terms of tech and access to startups and scale-ups that can help us really change that picture on sustainability, and particularly around customer experience, but also around costs, which I think probably in all of our businesses is a bit of an enduring focus. Thirdly and lastly, we talk a lot about incumbency being an advantage. TAL is a big business and occupies a strong position in the market, but incumbency isn't a strategy. It might be an advantage for us, but there's still a real imperative for us to change. I was schooled in strategy as being able to answer the question, why should customers choose you? And I think there's a lot for us to think about in terms of making sure we always have a good answer to that question now and into the future. So three themes, Michael, that certainly occupy my day-to-day.
Thanks for sharing those, Fiona. And yeah, sustainability really important, both from a corporate level, but I think we're seeing increasingly the environment as a big issue for insurers and sustainability across the environment. Switching to Prue, if we've got Prue there. Prue, Why do you think insurtechs have a valuable role to play in bringing innovation to the insurance industry?
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Michael, Patrick, Mary. And I'm used to his name being in the bottom
You don't have
right.
to be that formal.
Thanks very much for putting today on, and it's fantastic to be part of this. The insurtech community is incredibly invaluable in the insurance ecosystem for a number of reasons. One, we see clever ideas come from other industries, and we find new and innovative ways to apply them within the insurance ecosystem. And the second is that, as Fiona talked about incumbency, often it can be very hard to have nimble ideas come to life in those environments. The insurtech industry is low cost, creative, innovative, and forward thinking, very focused on solving problems. And so there's a wonderful opportunity for that partnership to really come to life with the insurtech community in the insurance industry. I'm very excited about the presentations we're going to have today, because all of them represent those different kinds of ideas. So thank you very much for hosting today.
Thanks, Prue. And now to get some other insights, we'll switch over to New Zealand and Bronwyn. Bronwyn, where do you think insurtech can help most in the insurance life cycle?
Thanks, Michael. I think arguably the question is, where can it not make a difference? I think in an industry that is trying to reinvent itself to be customer-led, we're faced with so many problem statements that the insurtech community are gearing up to help us solve. I think one of the big ones facing the industry is this almost ubiquitous problem that is operational cost containment. And when you look at some of the reasons for some of these challenging factors surrounding cost, one only needs to point to the vast tapestry of legacy technology systems and platforms that the industry is so anchored by. And the insurtech community, in the amazing and innovative work that they do to help eliminate or at least mitigate some of the challenges we have with our vast legacy systems in the industry, that is really, really adding value. I think there's probably one from a lifey, dare I say, near and dear to our heart, is the fact that life insurance as a particular line of business in the industry is one that many customers are somewhat indifferent to. There is a level of inertia around, or a level of indifference to being awakened to one's life risk needs, and the insurtech community and the, I guess, deeper understanding of customer behaviour can help us hopefully intuit where some of those needs are emerging, and provide that very helpful nudging effect to overcome some of that customer indifference, and ultimately help us address some of those underinsurance issues which happen right at the beginning of the customer life cycle, when they just really are indifferent and inert to taking up life risk protection. But of course, there are a vast number of other areas, and I'm really, really excited to see some of the innovative concepts that we're going to be hearing about today. So really excited.
Thanks, Bronwyn. And finally, over to you, Jason. How do you think insurtechs can help bring you innovation?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Good to be with you. I suppose speaking as part of a social insurer in the TAC, and speaking on behalf of regulators and schemes from a standpoint where many of us are monopolies. And so I think it's imperative that there is, I think as Bronwyn said, that there is a nudging effect that sort of helps even monopolies to continue to innovate. Often we tend to try and solve our own problems, and it's important for us to expand our gaze and our risk appetites to be looking at how we can best partner and look at innovation and solutions that can come into the industry from startups and from others. I think a couple of key points from my standpoint around innovation is is around how we consider the risk mindsets. Typically in the government sector, they're very strong risk mindsets. And so I think understanding what are those risk mindsets and how innovators can actually help governments or government agencies and regulators to de-risk their thoughts, whether it's generated by politics, media, or even workforce cultures, would be very constructive, I think, as well. And I think the other thing with innovation is there are some areas where it's about making the unattractive attractive. There are a lot of areas that are around compliance, but how do we need to solve some of those challenges as well. And I think the last point I'd make quickly is around also demonstrating some of the boundaries. So clearly we'd love the sky to be the limit, but especially when dealing with some risk-based cultures, we need to understand and seeing partners or innovators also assessing and being responsible for the level of innovation that they're also putting forward would also help the risk appetite of regulators and schemes to be more engaging with innovation in the industry.
Thanks for that, Jason. And yeah, very important to have a social insurer as well as part of the judging panel. Now, we have two categories that would have been entered into today, and we'd like to move on, and I'll just outline the first category, which is about enriching the insurance experience, but as a standalone solution. So this solution doesn't interface in with any of the systems that we have, but it's what can add value standalone. As a standalone product or solution, it addresses a number of areas. Some of the problem areas that are covered are prevention, remediation, engagement, an offering that can reduce risk, help with compliance, claims management. Each pitch is going to have 5 minutes. And the judges will vote on the solution that they think brings the latest innovation to the insurance life cycle. So it can be quite, this is a really interesting category because it can be quite broad. We've had mapping companies in this category before. We've had communication companies. So some of them are related to insurance, but not always direct. So I'm looking forward to hearing the first pitch. And the first pitch is from QLabs. We got QLabs?
Thank you. So I was affected by the Optus hack. The hassle of going to my bank, figuring out, do I close my bank accounts and just open up fresh ones? Do I cancel my credit card? What else is connected to my credit card? Who else do I need to inform? Also the fear, will I find out in the future that my identity was used to commit a crime? Proving that my identity was stolen is probably going to be much easier than clearing up an arrest record. Now imagine if it wasn't just my address or ID or credit card. Imagine if it was deeply personal information. Am I or have I had mental health issues? Do I have substance abuse problems, chronic illnesses, to mention a few? Now I'm a private citizen, not that that makes matters any easier, but imagine this information being released or leveraged on politicians, other government officials, people of public interest, CEOs, religious groups. Oh, but wait. That's literally happening as we speak. The severity of these data breaches cannot be overstated. A lot of this information doesn't have an expiration date, and so it must be protected at all costs. Public apologies are not going to cut it. Damages will be paid, shareholder value will be lost, social and economic impact will be severe. Now imagine a world where our data is protected by encryption, underpinned by truly random numbers generated using quantum effects and not breakable maths, contributing to a very strong encryption, meaning decrypting data would at the very least take a classical computer a very long time to hack, reducing, for example, a sidechain attack. A world where your encryption keys, the distribution of encryption keys is done through, the encryption key management and is centralized with robust policy parameters built in, and where emerging encryption algorithms, such as the post-quantum algorithms that are coming, can be seamlessly integrated and managed. And also where the distribution of encryption keys is done through channels using quantum effects, operating across current fiber optic infrastructure, ensuring that information flow between point A and point B, such as, say, a data center, a treasure trove of valuable data, is absolutely secure. Now, if you think managing cybersecurity at your organization today is challenging, just wait till more powerful quantum computers come into operation. Now, some say those are maybe 15 to 20 years away, but the power to do code breaking under lab conditions, cybersecurity experts say, could be as little as 5 years away. And quantum computers will break public encryption. And therefore, cybersecurity solutions of today need to be able to handle attacks, not just today, but handle those of tomorrow. And these solutions need to easily integrate into your current infrastructure so they minimize your cost of acquisition and cost of operation. That exists today. We have built it. Now, you can go and hire more cybersecurity personnel if you have the budget and if you can find them. But why not let the technology do the heavy lifting for you, operating silently in the background? We deliver quantum resilient hardware and software solutions. Our products were built to connect with each other, obviously, but also provide connection to other applications to access and benefit from our technology. We help enterprises build crypto-agile cybersecurity infrastructure on the premise, in the cloud, and in hybrid IT systems. The value we bring is we can help you strengthen your cybersecurity operations and compliance demands. We can help you manage or mitigate the risk of financial loss, business interruption, face it from going into damage control, damage your brand, and loss of trust. And what we can do for you, the insurer, we can also do for the businesses you provide cyber insurance to. And so together we can help your customers improve their cybersecurity posture and also preserve your bottom line. We have a partnership go-to-market model. Our partners understand their customers from both the technology and strategic perspective, which is why together we can bring the right solution to the right customer and hopefully help prevent the next major cyber attack in Australia.
Thanks, and a really important area. I know more recently I've been speaking a bit about cyber insurance, and certainly following some of the more recent events, it's very timely that you go into this area. So thank you for that, and now I believe it's over to Matthew from Bodyguide. This is a virtual presentation.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Can we hear me? Does everyone hear me?
Yes, yes.
I will assume yes, we will start. And I think I don't have control of my slides, so I think that I'm going to raise my hand, allotted everyone to progress. But yeah, my name is Matthew. I'm the founder of Bodyguide, and from prevention to recovery, we are reimagining the future of care. Now, the pain problem that we are looking at is actually a doozy. We have about 17 million people in pain in Australia in a given week. 60% will do nothing about it. They'll wait for it to go away on its own, or they will wait for it to get bad enough to book an appointment. And when we look at the comorbidities with mental health, we look at the opioid use, the substance abuse that goes with chronic pain. When we add it all together with the workers' compensation claims, we arrive at about 139 billion in lost costs to Australia each and every year. Now, I have to apologize, everyone. I can't see my slides, but I'll assume that I still am stuck on the same slide there. There we go. Next slide, please, Matt, to the technology and education. You can bounce straight through to the Bodyguide platform. So the Bodyguide platform is at the heart of everything we do. It is a very simple piece of technology that allows a user to click on where they're sore, answer easy questions. And what it's doing is feeding into algorithms that we created with a team of physical therapists and osteopaths and myotherapists. These algorithms are going to take this information and build a personalized, customized program to help people solve aches, pains, and tension, learn about their bodies, and build resilience. It's going to guide them absolutely step by step, every part of the journey. Now, from an efficacy point of view, we're actually really proud of the data coming out of the product. We released in the consumer market about 2 years ago. We have users in over 50 countries. 73% of people feel less discomfort after just their first session. We have coverage of 9 pain areas, and our top users are spending over 75 hours on the platform and counting. So we are incredibly proud of how well it's performing. And excitingly, we have partnered with La Trobe University and the Digital Health CRC, not just to validate the results we have coming out of the platform from a self-service perspective, but some of the other prevention projects that we're working on with employers and insurers. Now, what we're seeing here is actually a new wave of sort of healthcare prioritization around what's called body literacy or health literacy. And if we want the one-liner for what body literacy is, what it is teaching, not just treating. So this idea that we can actually teach people their anatomy, we can make this engaging and enticing and aspirational, and we can use this to build their self-efficacy when it comes to managing their own aches and pains long before they become a claim. Now from here, we really built out a lot of functionality to work more closely with employers and insurers. So telehealth layers, coaching layers. The first one that I'd like to take you through is really interesting. It's what's called asynchronous coaching. And this allows a user to send a text message, a voice message, or a video note through to a healthcare professional. Now, if you're wondering what asynchronous means, it just means it's not happening at the same time. And everyone on this call, everyone in the room has actually used asynchronous coaching very recently. In fact, this morning, if you sent an email with a question in it or sent a text message with a question in it, even if it's what's for dinner tonight, you have sought information, but you didn't need an immediate response. So you can acknowledge that not everything needs a meeting, not everything needs a phone call, and that what we can actually do is allow these connections to happen between employees and practitioners to solve simple questions and help fast track their progress. From here, and I hope we're about to be on the custom book now button. That was the screen prior, sorry, where we can send text and voice and video notes through the platform to health professionals. But if we jump over to the custom book now slide, you'll see that we do a lot of work integrating with the traditional appointment structure as well. So this allows employees, much like an EAP for mental health or for psychology, it allows employees to book self-service appointments with healthcare professionals. As an employer or an insurer, I can actually bring my own providers to the platform. So if you have an affiliate network you work with already, we connect to them. And in the event that the processes on a work site don't actually allow the employees to do this, we create custom care pathways where they can report to the HSC manager or the health and safety manager before they're able to book appointments. And suffice to say, we're just trying to work really closely with the existing processes so we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Now, what this creates is some fascinating data insights that we don't normally get access to. And these sit from the prevention side right through to the recovery side. On the prevention side, we get visibility of the pre-claim and pre-appointment data. So we can say things like, this site in Parramatta had 17 shoulder programs made last month, but it had 312 back pain programs made, and maybe we can go in there and have a look at why. Maybe we can do, a back pain awareness month. Maybe we can do some job design work. We actually get to see the data that currently is going into Dr. Google when people are typing and self-navigating on their own. The next data insight is around individualized care and is really dependent on what stream the employee or the claimant is in. So when we look at, say, recovery or reablement, we get this really interesting remote monitoring piece where we can see which exercises someone is or is not doing, which are causing problems. We can see who's engaging with the health services made available to them and who is not, whose symptoms are escalating and whose are resolving. And so we get this incredible compliance piece where we understand where people are, and again, we're connecting them to care when they need it. Now, to close off here, I'd like to just show you how this all fits together neatly. So what we're looking at here is a new framework for healthcare delivery. At the moment, we are very over-reliant on appointments. They are expensive, they are time-consuming, and as I mentioned at the start, most of us avoid it until we progress or we become a claim. And what we see in the future is this self-service layer being this first point of call where we can create amazing self-service. Then we bounce up to the coaching layer for at-risk cohorts. And finally, then we bounce up to the appointment structure itself. After the appointments, we bounce them back down to the self-service layer. And so we complete the cycle. And that is my time. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been great to be here.
Thank you, Bodyguide. A very important area, pain management, and something certainly I know in workers' compensation that a lot of work's going into. And now over to Michelle from Everheld.
Sorry, just some slide coordination.
That's all right. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Michelle and I'm a co-founder of Everheld. From a young age, we're all taught to secure our financial assets and to secure the futures of our loved ones by even insuring ourselves. But who here has ever insured their connections? Who here has created content for the specific purpose of posthumous publication or delivery? Content that would mean the world to your loved ones in the event of your death. That's where we come in. We're Everheld and we're effectively insurers of connection. Our vision is a world where connections are no longer lost, but are nurtured, maintained, and everlasting. Everheld is an online platform that helps users to create and safeguard content, which we will then deliver to their loved ones or memorialise posthumously. We built the platform based on direct market feedback, and what sets us apart is our unique, independent wellbeing system that identifies when our users have passed away, enabling us to trigger the distribution of content without a third party. It's also a recipient verification process, which authenticates with a recipient whether they're comfortable to receive before we actually distribute content. It's our QR capability, which allows our users to generate QR codes using their own content, and our heirloom keepsake, which can be passed down through generations. Now to dive into insurance, which in the last 2 decades has seen a rapid evolution between generations and therefore customer profiles. This has had profound impacts on the way insurers position their brand in the market and communicate their customer value proposition and also engage with customers. This bifurcation in the market, specifically between boomers and millennials, has made way for new market entrants who are in a unique position to actually meet the demands of those specific segments and therefore infiltrate the market like never before. Legacy insurers, this leaves legacy insurers not only scrambling to meet the rapidly evolving needs of their traditional boomer customers, but trying to work out how to become relevant and acquire millennials and increasingly Gen Z customers whose main priority is who we are and not what we have, which means that they're prioritising social impact and high quality customer experiences above all else. So we reached out to some of our users and we asked them how they felt if their insurance provider had gifted them an Everheld account. And there is still an overarching demon of mistrust. Research shows us that while 78% of Australians have life insurance, only 42% believe that their insurer will be there in their time of need. That means that there is a 36% difference in people that are low-hanging fruit for new market entrants who are tech-savvy, customer experience focused, social impact centric. But the good news is it's never too late to turn around your customers' experiences and perceptions. So a partnership with Everheld can help an insurer make improvements across the customer lifecycle by improving customer experience with a meaningful and innovative customer-centric offering, by gaining a competitive advantage and increasing acquisitions by demonstrating social impact-focused initiatives, by improving your trust and customers' perception by differentiating yourself from other insurers, by increasing onboarding and retention rates via loyalty offerings and complementary services, and by assisting with claim and illness prevention strategies through nurturing customers' mental and emotional health and well-being. So we're also in a unique position in that we can meet the demands of multiple segments because our platform ensures the power of human connection as well as preserving legacy. We're a high-quality digital platform that is easy to use, affordable, but most importantly, it gives our users the peace of mind that their connections will never be lost. So we are a social impact startup, and our societal benefits have already been proven with our customers telling us it's the best thing that they've ever done, and the recipients saying it's the best gift that they've ever received.
Of filming these messages for my loved ones was obviously emotional, but once they were done, it was a really amazing experience. And I felt such a sense of relief in the event that something should happen to me. This is something that they can hold on to forever, and they can show their children and whoever else they'd want to. And if they're having a tough time, they can just look back on it and know that mum's still there.
So Everheld, creating moments of connection because connection is all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Michelle. And now we have Nancy from Swiss Tech, who's here and coming up now. Swiss Tech Analytics. So over to you, Nancy.
Thanks, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nancy, and I'm here today to introduce MIRA by Specialist Direct. MIRA stands for My Injury Recovery App. I'm a psychologist by trade, and I've spent the past 2 decades heavily involved in the health management, rehabilitation, and workers' compensation industry. My experience has led me to the same conclusion that many of you are also probably coming to realise as well, that in the last 20 years, we've not innovated enough, we've not changed our approach, and we certainly have not really addressed the issues in our industry. We are yet to tackle the insurance dilemma of how we curb the rising costs of claims, poor return to work and return to health outcomes, and the overall deterioration in scheme performance across the workers' comp and personal injury sector. We are yet to solve the inefficiencies of the insurance claim workflow. We have certainly some way to go to improving the customer journey, be it those experiencing those processes through their claim or by those involved in supporting people on claim. So MIRA has come to life with a clear purpose in mind. We wanted to develop a product for our industry that would change the way we engage and collaborate with our stakeholders, the way information is shared to improve decision-making and support, but most importantly, to empower claimants to take greater ownership over their recovery and return to work. MIRA is an information technology platform that supports the key critical stakeholders who rely on communication, collaboration, and information to drive better outcomes. It is the only product in the market that uses a personalised approach to case management that goes beyond the transactional and administrative activities. MIRA puts the claimant in the centre and brings all the key stakeholders together as a collective for a shared goal, which is a safe and sustainable return to work outcome. MIRA's functionality humanises the insurance experience. It improves communication and speeds up administrative tasks. Functionality like chat, messaging for enhanced communication, real-time information sharing of appointments, return to work meetings, etc., document sharing of pain and mood progress updates, all help to keep people informed on how to support and when to act. But MIRA's system stretches far beyond the app itself. It features a web panel that can be integrated into the insurer's environment and designed to be configurable and insurance industry agnostic. Safe Work Australia has reported that in the last 20 years, Claims costs for a musculoskeletal injury has risen by 300%. Likewise for a mental health claim. It also is taking us 40% longer to get people back to work. We see Mira as being designed to strategically manage claim liability risk. Its use of human-centred approach to case management, rehabilitation and recovery will positively impact claims duration, reduce claims complexity, including the reduction of the likelihood of a secondary injury from evolving. And this, of course, has a positive impact on humans and reduces the cost of injury, illness, disease in this population. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. And I'd now like to hand over to Nigel from, have I got it right? Canopy. Hi, Nigel.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I'll just wait a moment until the slides come up and then we'll roll in. Thanks, everybody. My name's Nigel. I'm the founder and CEO of Canopy, and Canopy is unlocking the default insurance opportunity to the world. What's the problem? Insurance today is decoupled from the purchase, at the time of purchase or the need for the customer. And we wanted to understand why. The customer kind of wants the right cover for their needs where and when they need it, but they're constrained by historically poor experiences, a lack of understanding of insurance, and a lack of understanding what's right for them. The digital platforms, they want to embed insurance inside their platforms. They want to grow revenue. They want to increase their lifetime value of their customers, but they're constrained because they don't have the access to the insurance products themselves. They don't have the insurers don't have the capability to give them the products they need, and they're hesitant to take on those regulatory requirements themselves. And the insurers, they want to unlock this embedded distribution opportunity. They want to create tailored products and experiences, but they themselves are constrained by super complex products, very legacy technology systems, which give really slow speed to market and a very, very high delivery cost. So there's a huge opportunity, but there's a real constraint across the value chain of how it can be delivered to the customer. And what's the opportunity? What's the size of this embedded space? What's the size of being able to embed insurance inside these large third-party platforms? Well, if we think of today, the embedded market share is below 5%, so circa $80 billion across the general insurance market. If you listen to McKinsey, you listen to Simon Torrance, you listen to the folks that can know a lot more than us of where this embedded space can get to, and it gets that kind of 35% of market share. It's a $750 billion opportunity. So we think in the opportunity space to be able to really change the insurance continuum of how we deliver insurance to the customer is enormous and is a white space ready to be taken up. And so how does Canopy solve that problem? We're building the operating system of the embedded insurance revolution. We're creating insurance in a box, insurance platform as a service. So for the insurer, we allow them to launch, experiment, and scale these new embedded products within days at a fraction of the cost it cost them to build internally. For the digital partner, we unlock that kind of power of embedded insurance. It maximizes their customer lifetime value. And all of a sudden, they don't just have payments and lending, but they now also are embedded insurance and delivering value to their customer. And finally, at last, the consumer, the most important, they're getting the right product at the right time, contextually that's personalized to them, where and when they need it, from highly trusted brands. That's the most important thing. So how are we different? How does this change? How does Canopy building this operating system realize the value? So the current insurance paradigm on the left there, you can see kind of the time to launch today in terms of an insurer wanting to deliver a new product to market takes years. We've now reduced that to days and a brand new product to market in a few weeks. The user experience goes from selling a product to being contextual, personalized, and delivering to the customer, understanding their data and giving it to them distributing it to them where and when they need it in the platform that they care about. The underwriting goes from historical data to real-time data that's coming from the partner and from third-party systems, helping both the underwriting to be more accurate, improving claims loss ratios, as well as reducing the question set and giving the customer a wonderful experience, making insurance lovable. And then you think about the economics, because we were able to kind of squeeze this expense ratio, because we're able to really impact the underwriting. It goes from a very low margin business to a high margin business. And finally, that most important part that sits across the whole top of it is an experimentation layer that allows you to test products, to test pricing, to test customer behavior, to test screens, to test all the things that you would love to be able to do to help customers get the value that they need from products. We allow that to happen in the click of a button immediately from sitting in your own bedroom. And so here at Canopy, we think about, if you could imagine a world in which every service that you interact with, whether that's the car that you sit in, whether that's the e-commerce store that you shop from, or the financial institution you've taken your home loan from, or even the device that measures your health, it provides you the personalized contextual insurance seamlessly at the time that you need it. That's the world that we really believe in, and that's the world that Canopy is really committed to making a reality. Thank you.
Thanks, Nigel. And now I have Graham from B-Cyber. So good to have a live one again.
Thank you. Thank you. My name's Graham Chi. I'm the co-founder of B-Cyber. We are a cybersecurity company with a difference. We're not after the tech side of cybersecurity. We're looking at the 95% of where all the errors are actually happening. Thanks. What we're seeing out there is very poorly structured information, and most of our biggest competitor is an Excel spreadsheet at the moment. It's red, green, orange. That's the way you judge cybersecurity. Also, what we're finding is that it's very difficult to have the conversation about cybersecurity. It's very easy to have other sorts of insurance, but cybersecurity is a very tough one, because as it comes down to it, this information is spread right throughout the firm. It's not just concentrated within the tech side of the problems. Next, thanks. What we actually looked at is we wanted to collect the information once and then use it multiple times. What happens is that many of the forms, and we have an accounting business as well, is that we might collect 50 different forms per year, but we only use it once for one purpose. But what we do within GRACE, which is covering the governance, risk assurance, compliance, and education, we use our tools to go through that. We analyse the data, not quantitative, which is very easy to do today, but we use it as a qualitative basis by using the machine learning tools that are out there. And what we do is we deliver output that people can start to understand. Next. What we use is in multi-purpose. So we use a machine learning from what we call Google BERT. We actually put this into a machine through our online forms and such. And what we do is we look to build business personas for each person that we do through that. Rather than trying to stereotype a cybersecurity client, we look at the small business side of what they're trying to do. Many small businesses don't have the resources of larger companies, so they leave it. I'm not going to be attacked, or I'm too small to be attacked. However, if you look recently, today even the Deputy Commissioner of the ATO came out and said they have 3 million attacks per month. Pretty significant with it. And some of the other major crimes and frauds are based around GST. Who has that? Small business. So they're the sort of things that we're looking at. What we try to do is we profile the niche user for cybersecurity. One of the things with the niche sort of users, they're all different. Every person is different. And the other part that we address in here is, even though we have Grace, we also look at Fred. And Fred is every one of the people in this room, and every business has a Fred. And Fred is what we address is their fears, their results, their expectations, and their desires. If you meet those, if you come across, not everybody is the same when they have their fears, especially in small business. Now, what do we actually look for? We look for the benefits out of the information that we gather and rewrite that from Google, and we use an open AI with what we call GPT-3, which is what we're looking for, the output. We don't want output in red, green, orange. We don't want output in a yes, no tick box. We want output that we can actually use. And this is the part that we're starting to learn about more, that the Excel spreadsheet is probably the biggest weakness in compliance for cybersecurity. Because don't you think the attackers already have this? They have a checklist. They have a very good checklist. Now, next please. So this is our last part about as a quick video. So most of the compliance, and I've been a compliance manager, it becomes a yes, no answer. Do you know what a yes, no answer does? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All it does is satisfy somebody's tick box to say it's done. It doesn't give you any scope with it. So if you could just play the video. What we actually do in here is we capture the information, we design the information, we put it into our model, we use the AI, we use the GPT-3, we use every tool that is possibly out there to get a profile. What we've actually found is it's great, Graham, to be able to produce the content. What is the difficulty is delivering the content that people understand. So what we put this same information and made it into an intelligent chatbot, rather than trying to code a chatbot, which is very difficult, we can actually take 400 pages of a regulation and have our chatbot learn it in 8 minutes. That is the difficulty in compliance these days, especially around cybersecurity. It's changing every minute. So what we can do, we have a chatbot that does insurance applications for cybersecurity. We do claims management for cybersecurity. That is the biggest problem. What is the biggest problem that insurers hear every time there's claims time? I can't get through to anybody to listen to me. That is the biggest problem. It's not the problem, like when they had the fires, they had that sort of problem as well. The phones were ringing, but nobody was answering. You can use a chatbot for that. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Graham. And that was Be Cyber, and I think we're seeing a theme. Cyber is certainly getting a lot of attention, not only within the insurance community, but right across the community. And Lloyd's have been putting out some recent papers, I know, on the effect of acts of war and cyber. And now, Instabase, and I'd like to introduce Shannon. Another live one.
Competing with the air conditioning.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're just going to do a burst to the air conditioning.
Beautiful. Just what I love. And I apologise if my back's to you during the presentation. Great. Thank you.
I just need to hold the mic up.
Really?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Thanks. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shannon Nixon. I'm the Regional Vice President APJ for Instabase. Now, and that's not to be confused with Instagram. We are new to the region, as you will see by this slide. So we are headquartered in the US. We arrived in APJ a few months ago. We are global. We are backed by a number of the large US VCs like Andreessen Horowitz and NEA, and we are very, very fortunate to count some of the largest global FSIs as our customers. We have AXA, NatWest, Standard Chartered, HSBC, a few other names that you would recognize. And the reason for that is the obligatory iceberg slide. Now, if you take a look at data and you think about data, 20% of data that we have today is structured. And rules and RPA have done a really great job in being able to tackle that problem. But what about the 80%? That 80% is your laborious manual processes, which I'm sure all the insurers in the company and on the screen will be able to relate to. But that underpins your critical business workflows. And you have all this data just sitting, stagnating, not doing anything. And that's where we come in, because if you take a look on the side there, you've got certificates, you've got emails, you've got lost run reports, all really critical pieces of information for insurance companies. Next slide, please. So what does this kind of look like? Well, if you take a look at the left, this is the reality of information that would be coming into an insurance company. You've got emails, you've got forms, you've got all this messy documentation. But if you look at the right, those systems need structured data, clean data, your CRM. It could even be a DXC platform, or API, we can connect into whichever platform. So how do you get messy, unstructured into structured and usable? Well, that's where we come in. Because we're cloud-based, we can slot into your existing infrastructure. You don't have to rip things out. And we can take any document, any type, any time at vast, vast amounts because of the power of deep learning, not to be confused with machine learning, and we're able to, with low-code toolkits, digitize, split, classify, extract, validate, and integrate all of that into common workflows like submissions, claims, etc. So those really important critical workflows that insurance companies need. So here is one I prepared earlier as to what it looks like. Now, this would be an email that would come into an insurance company. It would have multiple attachments. There'll be content inside there around, real estate information, application, etc. So how do you then harness that information? Normally people would read it, it would take time. What we do is, because of deep learning, we can understand the intent and the context of that email. We can understand the intent and context of the attachments in that email. And we will know who to route that email to. If you go to the next slide then you've got all these attachments. You might have one attachment with a plethora of documents in there. So how do you go about that? Well, normally an underwriter, which they're not cheap, by the way, would manually be going through, reviewing all these documents, which I'm pretty sure they've got a better use of their time. They'll then have to interpret that data, extract it, input it out. We do that automatically, not your underwriter. And that makes a profound difference from time and cost, as you highlighted earlier. Now, if you go through all of that, you can see it's able to take out complex structures, tables, pricing, all sorts of information, handwriting. Then if you go through to the next slide, you get this funky little thing called a workflow. Now, this is where the no-code, low-code comes into. You can easily just drag and drop to create a workflow of all that digital information that you have and shoot it on through to the back-end system. So that could be your underwriter's workbench, it could be your CRM, whatever it is, but now you've been able to harness that information through to the back-end system. And importantly, you're able to cross-reference it to both internal and external information. So for buildings and property, for example, you could go out to satellite data. It doesn't have to just be in your own system. So what does this mean? What's the benefit? Well, tapping into that unstructured data, AXA were able to get 78% manual effort reduction in claims and submissions. We've got a #1 life insurer in the US. They were able to 83% get a loss adjustment cost avoidance. There's that cost word again. And then Gusto, 60% foster customer onboarding. So by tapping into that unstructured data, that 80% is no longer just stagnant. That 80% is now working for you and able to create value for your organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. And now, final entrant in category 1 is Andy from Advisor Me. Please welcome Andy.
Thanks, Andy. Imagine if your whole agent network and all the brokers that work in your business could become your key digital distribution channel. Be great, wouldn't it? Well, we've built Advisor Me as the marketing platform for large agent and broker-led businesses and networks. We've taken 25 years of digital marketing experience, the complexity of digital marketing experience, and we've baked it into the platform to make it simple, so your team members, your agents, and your brokers can become that key digital distribution channel for you. And we've got proven experience. In Australia, we run advisor.com.au, the leading and largest site for small to medium-sized business owners to connect with a broker. So what are some of the problems that we're solving? Well, agents and brokers, they really are your brand when they get out there. They're the people that customers interact with. But there's a couple of key problems in people-led businesses like that. Firstly, it's understanding who your best agents or brokers or team members really are. Secondly, thinking about what do customers really think about these people. And thirdly, if you actually know some of those things, who the best ones are and what they think about them, and you know what success looks like, how do you replicate that at scale quickly across thousands and thousands of team members? It's tricky in people-led businesses. But AdvisorMe, the platform for large broking networks and large agent networks, solves all these problems and many more. It takes your people and makes them the hero of the customer interaction. So imagine Jason Bass, a typical agent, gets to be involved in the process. He gets his own profile like this that he can configure, customize, and personalize. And customers can connect with Jason in any way they want that works for them. They can send a message, they can find his phone number and give him a call, or they can connect with him in ways that work for them. So within our platform, we've got a couple of key parts that are really important, and we see lots of customer value through them. The first one's around social proof, because we all know that these days, no one buys anything or connects with anyone without reading customer reviews. It's just true, isn't it? It's how we work. And in people-led businesses, where people are critical to your distribution, in referral businesses, that's essential too. We see that through the advisor platform. Brokers with customer reviews are up to 25 times more likely to receive an inquiry than people without. It's just what we all do. Secondly, content marketing. Content marketing is incredibly valuable. Did you know that 1 out of 2 people won't reach out to a sales representative until they've read between 3 and 5 pieces of content about the problem they're trying to solve? So what we've done is we've created a great product here where head office can produce 1 piece of content, and in just 1 click, all those agents, all those brokers, all your distribution channel can personalize that content, put their face, their details on it, and share it to their networks. That solves compliance problems, and it solves the ability to distribute. Suddenly your agents and your brokers are becoming your key digital distribution channel. And what we've done as well is to wrap all of this up so you can actually measure the impact in real time to see how responsive your agents are, how are they engaging with customers, and what's happening on the way through. Our target market are insurance businesses, big agent network businesses and distribution businesses, people businesses like this. And what's really pleasing is we're already talking to lots of these businesses and already working with some of them. So there's lots of reasons why we'll win in this space. Here's just 5. 1, our experience here with the platform. 2, we've got a really simple offering. It's really simple for people to use. It's a no-code environment. We've taken 25 years of digital marketing experience and baked that into this platform. We've got a simple platform and service offering. And lastly, we're really competitive on our pricing. Thanks. So what's our business plan? Well, firstly, we're a platform as a service offering. So it's really easy to pick up, easy to implement, ready to go. We're targeting those enterprise clients with thousands and thousands of agents and brokers who at the moment, they just don't look very great online. We're going to make them look great online. We've got a low cost per agent model, which means it's very cost effective to implement and utilize. And once these network gets up and running, think of the network effects that are created, which means it's an incredibly sticky business for us and incredibly valuable for the people that choose to use it. We've got some great proven traction so far. So through Advisor, we've had over 100,000 people go there, and it continues to grow, and that acceleration of growth we're seeing. Secondly, just this year, we were fortunate to be one of the finalists in the InsurTech of the Year in the ANZIF Awards. We also have Bupa as a key client on our platform already and have really good discussions with lots of other insurers who will come on board soon. And we've had some other wider industry recognition as well. So if you believe that people matter, and if you believe they're important to your business, and you'd like to learn more about AdvisorMe, then come and talk to me. Thanks.
Thanks, Andy. So that means that we can now move on to the second category, DXC Assure product suite. This is a product or solution with the capability to address the issues. So similar to the first set, prevention, engagement, reduce risk, or offerings that help in the area of compliance or generally enhance the platform. Again, each pitch will have 5 minutes, and then following this, the judges will vote on the solution they believe brings the latest innovation to the insurance lifecycle. So first up, I would like to welcome Indie AI.
Thank you. This is Abhishek, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Indie. Next slide, please. The business challenge that we are trying to solve here is about 80% of the data that a company is sitting on generally they cannot access, and it could be because they are in the forms of scans, photos, emails, screenshots, mobile clicks, or whatever have you. And very importantly, they also have document types which are free form, like policies, contracts, medical invoices, all these. So it's a heady mix. And as Shannon from Instabase said, that if you were to able to extract information, imagine the kind of impact you could make to the downstream analytics, the hyper-personalization, reduction of risk and fraud that you could do. So this is the business challenge we are trying to solve. Next, please. And how are we able to do it? Because we have a patent pending intelligent core that reads any document like a human would, right? If it's a tax invoice, it will say, okay, at the bottom, we are likely to find some dollars. If it's a bank statement, then we are likely to find the account information at the top. So it does all that. And then when we train it for specific use cases, either they become the out-of-box products that you see at the top, which is across industries, or we do custom deployments like process audit, automation for Standard Chartered, and a few other such solutions. Next slide, please. And it's a very, we've realized that it's a very complex ecosystem. So we have tried to make it simply like a Lego so that you can build, pick and choose, build pieces to suit your own customer experience. So you can say, okay, I want these type of files, I want these type of documents, and it could be through APIs. You want it to be hosted by us, we could do it for you. Basically, we don't want our clients to discard whatever they have, but to use our solution as a plug and play. And that is one of the key points we get off the block very quickly. Next slide, please. These are some of the solutions we have across the industries. Important point, we are able to cross leverage the learnings that we have from one industry to the other. So something that I'm going to give you a demo on, we actually took it from lending, where you have micro lending going on. It requires processing a lot of documents and at fast speeds and at a very low cost. So we took it over and we said, can we do it in insurance? So I would not like to go through all of those, but basically we are at the most parts of the value chain and we are growing. We're just about 1.5 years old into the commercial ecosystem. Go ahead, please. These are some of the clients we have for 1.5 years of our life. We have marquee clients, right, ranging from Standard Chartered to Etihad, and HDFC Life is one of the largest private sector life insurers in India, and we're working for them, trying to digitize their underwriting, something that I'll give you a demo on. Please go ahead. So in a nutshell, we are very flexible. We just don't want you to discard anything, just add it and increase your data acquisition from 20-25% to maybe 80-85%, if not more. You can control what you want to get, right? Sometimes you pick one piece, sometimes you can pick everything. And because we have our interfaces built with blueprints, Finastra and all that, it makes it very flexible for your IT team to just integrate through APIs. The last one is it has a day one impact on your productivity, and I dare say it actually reduces your risk and also reduces fraud, something that you'd see in the demo. Please go ahead. So this is the last slide. The point I want to emphasize, We are an R&D led company, so we have grown through industry challenges, hackathons. Most of our clients we have acquired through those, and that would be reflected in how we approach any client in terms of delivering what they want. I just want to go through the demo. So Matt, if you could click on the demo.
This product demo. Some of the documents the solution is able to digitalize are listed here, and there are many more that can be done. It starts with the admin selecting the type of fields that need to be extracted from the various types of documents. The next step is to upload the documents via the preferred route of APIs or even through the interface. The application improves the quality of the image, auto-classifies these documents into various types, and also gives the ability to move the pages around if need be. The next step is the extraction of the data, where the AI becomes the maker and provides a guided review screen to the checker. The tables are accurately read, and each transaction is categorized into more than 30 plus transaction categories. There are also pixel level and logic level checks done to detect fraud. The reviewer can also use the magic grid to read the table in a manner different than what the model has done. This is the review screen for the salary data extracted. The output is analyzed and is shown in the various tabs below. It is also checked for data consistency and alerts.
We are also doing tax processes. We extract information from those documents. And this is again part of the underwriting thing that we do. This is in a nutshell one of our products, which is underwriting products, the kind of metrics you get, kind of information you get all in less than a minute. And we also read policy documents and other things, something, as I said, we bring from the other industry that we do for contract analysis and in BFSI world. So thank you. This is what I wanted to present. Appreciate your time.
Thank you and good luck. I might just ask the people here, how are you feeling temperature-wise? Can we put the air conditioning down, or is it too loud? On or off air conditioning? Leave it on. Okay. All right, and now moving over, and we'll go through this fairly quickly. Danny from ProofTech. Hey, Danny.
Thank you, Mike.
Over to you.
Can everyone hear me? So good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Danny Cohn. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ProofTech. Glad to be talking to you here this afternoon and bring you something a little bit different and representing the computer vision world. Next slide. Each year, billions of dollars slip through the cracks of high-value assets, sometimes literally. Damage to these assets is not prevented and is usually just repaired at too high a cost. There's too much ground to cover for humans to do this manually, especially when issues are too minute for the human eye. Let's take a moment to imagine a world where you have an accurate view of the exterior condition of your high-value assets and it's readily available. Well, the good news is that here at ProofTech, we're on the road to making this happen. ProofTech is an Australian venture-backed vision AI technology startup that has developed an AI asset surface inspection technology. We're a highly skilled team of computer vision experts, with our core technical team all having worked together with each other at Canon's overseas R&D lab in Sydney. We are experts in identifying small anomalies, cracks, rust, chips, dents, and importantly, being able to show our customers the change or the degradation in the surface over time. We have been featured in global publications and we're a participant in the leading InsurTech scale-up program in APAC, run by Insurance Australia Group and Firemark Ventures. to apply our technology in the insurance sector. Next slide. Additionally, with the background of our commercial team in asset management, we know everybody wants to understand the condition of their assets, whether you're an asset owner, an asset manager, an asset user, or the insurer of the asset. The problem lies here. Existing processes are leading to suboptimal outcomes, not only because of the manual human effort required, but also due to the level of human subjectivity. Next slide. Even with the popularization of digital twins, the problems remain. Let's take a moment to explore the rise of the digital twins briefly. Humans are now incredibly proficient at taking images using a variety of different mediums, including sensors, smartphones, CCTV, drones, etc. Storage is also now well established. The quality of high-value asset digital twins is increasing rapidly as we move our attention towards visualization. The problem is, humans are still working their way through way too much visual information to look for issues or small anomalies. Actionable intelligence from automatic analysis is the new frontier, where imagery is digested in a way that humans or machines can immediately follow up on. This is where the ProofTech AI goes to work, guiding humans to the areas which require attention and that impact the asset management programs and useful lives of your assets. Next slide. We have designed our AI for easy repurposing and essentially to be asset agnostic. This allows us to help customers across multiple different industries, asset classes, and use cases. Think about vehicles, telco towers, bridges, commercial towers, to name a few. Insurers are a key stakeholder in all of the assets we analyze and plan to analyze in the future. You, as insurers, are therefore key partners for us here at ProofTech. We are focused on delivering actionable intelligence to our customers and focused on three things. 1, anomaly attribution. Who caused the damage? 2, anomaly degradation, highlighting the rate of change in the surface between two different time periods. And finally, anomaly repair. How much is it going to cost to repair the anomaly, and what is the most efficient triaging available to achieve that? Next slide. So what does this mean for our customers? We provide insights that help reduce the labor time and therefore costs taken by staff in performing manual asset management tasks. We improve asset utilization and reduce the repair costs. And finally, we optimize the split of reactive and predictive maintenance spend with the aim of increasing the useful life of your high-value assets. At ProofTech, we continually push the boundaries of what is possible by using state-of-the-art, cutting-edge AI and machine learning methodologies. We are here to help make your risk transparent, reduce your risk, and manage your risk with outstanding surface inspection insights for your high-value assets. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny. And now it comes to our finalist in this category. And for the afternoon, I'd like to welcome Louise from E5 Workflow. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. First up, being pregnant and presenting is like running a marathon, so apologies if I get out of breath at all. Next slide, yeah. So with any insurers, there's always an issue with the tyranny of volume. There's always an endless inflow of work, whether it be claims, membership inquiries, and management have to manage all of that as well as all of the other things that they need to manage. They are at risk of their users cherry picking, which we all love doing, picking the piece of work that's the easiest to complete first before the complicated one, or going on a lunch break at that point. But they also have to balance productivity, resource management, work management, all the skills that are required, and everything else that's on that list. So this image is one of my favorite images that we have, and that is basically the chaos being merged into E5 and being managed appropriately. So to do that, we have next one. We'll forget that slide. So we have 4 pillars. The first and most important is priority processing. So by name, we are a workflow solution, but we have morphed into a priority processing solution. So what that means is taking the right piece of work and delivering it to the user at the right time so that you're managing SLAs, you're communicating effectively with customers, and you're being able to deliver the work in time. It also takes into consideration what I just said, so the skills of that resource and their capacity to actually complete the work. Next one. So the next pillar is communication. We have what's called an E5 work item, and that is your communication document of record for example, a claim. Everything is on there, all attachments, all email communications, everything can be generated and managed through that piece of work so that it gives you a 360 view. And if you have, for example, a customer call up, they want to know what's happened with their claim, anyone can go in there and see all of the information that they require to give the customer a status update at any point. Next one, yeah. So automation is a bit of a buzzword, I think, in the industry at the moment, across multiple industries. And it's fantastic, but automation does not solve all of your problems. There is always going to be exceptions that fall out of automation, and the exceptions are what's expensive to your business to manage. So E5 balances automation with management of those exceptions that need human interaction and human management. Next. The final one is embedding. I come from a contact centre background, and I remember the days of having to search in 5 different systems to find what I need. We don't want to do that. We have 2 sayings at E5. The first is value beyond doubt, and the second is better with. So we want to make your solution better, but not add another system to the process and make the kind of processor get a bit scared. It helps with integration of a new system without kind of the change management side of things. Next slide. So these are the customers that we support. We have 75% of the private health insurance market. Medibank and AHM are our customers. And you know, obviously it's unfortunate what's happened to them over the last week, but what E5 does and what Medibank and AHM can do, because they have E5, is that they can pivot their priorities. So they're going to get a whole load of contact centre emails and calls coming through, and they can pivot that priority to make sure that those are being captured and worked on first, to make sure that their customers are getting messages in a timely manner. While also managing and having visibility over all of the other work that doesn't go away and still needs to be managed in the background. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. And now the judges, if you can take the next 2 minutes to fill out the form. We're going to bring up Murray from UTS, who was up here before, and Simone. Just to have a bit of a chat about today. So, Simone, you seen a lot of these pictures. What do you think of what you've seen today, and how important do you think it is for events like this for the InsurTech community?
I think it's just amazing, the variety. I mean, we at InsurTech Australia support 90 InsurTech, some of the guys here, but there's lots of others here. And I think just the variety across, you know, health, bodily injury, cyber, workflow processing, unstructured data. I mean, it just shows the insurance industry itself touches so many things. And there's so many ways, so many things that need to be fixed, and so many ways that we can do that. I think there was a huge theme around customization, and particularly how data can help in that and how we can better help the people. Like, a lot of them are trying to use the data and the technology to help, you know, all these people during these big insurance companies to do things better and faster and quicker and give a better customer experience. So yeah, really interesting and challenging.
Thanks for that perspective. And Murray, any key highlights for you? And given you see right across startups, not just in insurance, but overall.
Who knew there were so many problems in insurance? maybe people with insurance. It struck me the diversity of ideas and the fact that these would apply to a lot of other industries as well. But it's nice to see someone like DXC kind of crystallizing here is the real opportunity areas, and this company may not be thinking about the insurance industry, but you should be, and connecting the dots in that way. I think there's so many startups out there that are solving for the problems that they understand and the customers that they understand, and that's fine. That's what people do. But I think broadening horizons with the help of someone that's working with these kind of companies is a wonderful thing to do. I was impressed with the quality of pitches. That was incredible. And in a difficult environment on the busiest street corner in Sydney, with randoms looking in the window, I think everyone did really well today.
Thanks, Murray. And a little bit about UTS startups. You haven't spoken a lot. It's a location, but I know it's more than that. So maybe just for the people that don't deal with you normally, just a little bit about them and how they get involved.
Okay, the reason we've got this location is there's so much activity that happens, particularly with tech-enabled entrepreneurship, that happens indoors on small screens, and it becomes hard for people to see what's going on and to see that as a normal, desirable thing for them to pursue. So that's why UTS is supporting this space, to make it a more visible thing and to put different startups in the window each week and different interviews of entrepreneurs each Friday. I'll do a call out every Friday at 3:30. We're open to the public and we do wonderful interviews with wonderful founders that we work with. And we have the best pizza of any startup event. Trust me, it's amazing. Thanks to Amazon Web Services. But aside from this space, we've got 250 desks of space down the road that's available to all our startups. But the most kind of valuable part of what we do is all the people we're supporting helping each other out and having that kind of peer learning environment where if you're a current or past UTS student with a startup or you have a UTS current or past student on your founding team, you can be supported by us, join 490 other startups, get access to a whole bunch of things and be part of all the work we do to go out to schools or speak to people at UTS or speak to the people in the public. We go to 100 schools a year, 20,000 year 9 and 10 students. We do large events for 6,000 year 9 and 10 students as well. We do a lot, but thanks to all the startups that we get to support, we're able to do those things. But thank you very much.
Thanks, Murray. And can everyone just please thank the startups? It's a lot of effort, I know, goes into preparing, presenting, as Murray said, sort of environment. I know there's usually a couple of hundred online when you do one of these. So please thank all the startups for participating today. And I'll just check whether we've done all the votes are in from the judges. And look, we DXC don't take part in the judging. We leave it to the industry. So it really is something quite special to win these because it's voted for by the industry. So I will now open up the envelope, and I would like to congratulate Matthew Green, Bodyguide. Matthew.
I don't know. Thank you, everyone. I don't know what to say. What do I do? I just say this is something that is very practice and having run physical and online classes that I was teaching really, really simple things. Also, the guilt that I felt as a practitioner when I was teaching things people needed to understand to $300 an hour. I was teaching this. Dealt with, all the other population, obesity, diabetes, smoking, thing for the 68% of us that are sore. Oh, I got bad audio.
Matt, I
Says
might
someone in my
just interrupt there, Matthew. It's we're getting a lot of bad feedback and delays. Is it right to proceed there, or have we lost the link? Maybe try now, Matthew.
I think I'm back. Maybe.
No, I think it's.
That's good.
We might just have to say congratulations, and we'll hear a lot more from Matthew, no doubt, in the future, and we'll start to look at how we work with him. And in the second category, I better not turn this to face you. I would like to congratulate Louise from E5 Workflow. Yeah. Congratulations. Well done. Anything you want to say?
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm glad I got to present in a way that gets our value prop across, because I think it is really important for the insurance industry and it's going to definitely add great value. So thank you.
Thank you. And look, I'd also like to thank Simone for coming down and sharing, participating in Tech Australia. If you enter, you're not a member, something that we've been involved in. Just let it. See Simone. Now, this obviously couldn't happen without the judges, and I know all the judges have very full agendas, and so could you please thank Fiona, Bronwyn, Jason and Prue. And I'd also like to thank Matt Lai. Matt has grown up with this event, and he ran solo this year with the help of Isabella just starting on it. So thank you, Matt, for all the hard work leading up to this and coordinating it. For those in the room, please enjoy some food and hang around for a chat. For those online, thank you for joining us and look forward to the 5th year next year where we will have the next Invitational. Thank you.